hamotzi, on the man. And everybody's going to get some. And then we're going to eat the flesh of the Leviathan. And there's going to be so much of it, the Gemara says, that it's going to go out to the shvakim, to the shuks, the marketplaces of Jerusalem, and from there to the entire world. Look how advanced it is. International marketplace, already imagined, already envisioned over at least 1,500 years ago. And then the skin of the Leviathan, as you've probably heard, you can make a sukkah out of it. But there's going to be so much of this skin that they're going to roll it around the walls of Jerusalem, and it's going to shine from one end of the world to the other. As the verse says, Melachim le'noga zarchech, goyim yilchu le'orech, v'melachim le'noga zarchech, that nations will walk in your light and kings in the radiance of your dawn. What are you talking about? We're just talking about the skin of an animal. But the secret is, and the Gra, the Gaon of Vilna said when he learned this Gemara, he says, if I had only been created, not just born, created to understand this, it would have been enough. And you only hear things like that in the Zohar when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, when the students hear something from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and they say, Dayenu, if it would only been for this that we had been born, Rabbeinu, enough. That means moments where you know that is why you came into this world. And we should have a lot of those moments. If we had only been alive just for this moment, thank you Hashem so much. So, the concept of it's the ancient formalization of E equals mc squared, which is that matter is just a frozen form of energy. That matter and energy are one continuum, but different states of energy. So the ancient formulation of that is or equals or equals or. Meaning to say, or with an aleph is light, and or with an ayin is skin, and or with an aleph is light. Adam was light, he became skin, and our job is to transform skin into light, to become a temple for the light while we're here, and then to move the entire creation back up into the light, and to exist in eternity. It sounds, I'm saying it in a very flippant way. It's not. It's awesome. And so he saw that the skin of the Leviathan is going to shine. Whoa, awesome, he said. This is the rabbis in their inimitable, hidden way, through weird stories about animals killing each other, they're telling us that it's going to happen. The transformation of physical world back into higher energy states. We're going to go higher and higher. The outer shell is going to fall off, and the inner essence is going to rise up. And we're going to go, so to speak, up into eternity for eternity. And no end. It'll just go higher and higher. And the fact that we were able to recognize it even while we were here, within or with an ayin, within physical existence, is going to be the starting point for us to return to energy, to return to infiniteness in a conscious way. We came down unconscious. We will return conscious. And therefore, we don't return in the same way as we left. We were in the Ein Sof in an undifferentiated state. We had no consciousness, no awareness. The Ein Sof pulled its light back in order to give us awareness. But the initial experience of awareness is, where are you, God? You've left us alone. Like, what did you do? What a painful thing. It's called stage 2. It's the trauma of being born, of being me. And I don't like it. I don't know what to do. What'd you leave me here for? Why'd you leave me alone? And the answer is, I left you alone because I want you to discover me. I am the hide-and-seek God. And if you seek me, I will reveal myself to you in your very midst. And then I will show you that this is what your job is to elevate yourself back into me. And to bring the entire world with you. I got a little stuck there, so forgive me, but it is beautiful more than I can ever articulate. The idea of closing circle, full circle, of coming back into our source. And then that's not the end. Another circle, and another circle, and more awareness. Together, who we are. I'll just say one more thing about this, and then we'll come back, and we can actually talk together, and thank you so much for coming. Is that the Rashba, his name is Rabbi Shlomo Ben Aderet, he was a student of the Ramban, and he wrote a commentary on this Midrash and the Talmud. And he said that Just like the Torah was received by those who ate the man, and that the man actually prepared us, it purified us, so that we could receive the Torah. So this meal that we'll be eating here, and it'll be followed by some kind of a thing in between the fish and the meat. And as we eat this meal, and there's different levels obviously here, it's a metaphor, but there's also somewhat of a literal level. As we eat this meal, we will transition into the 7th millennium. I call it the Last Supper. And so, like, it's a beautiful thing. It's in the Ein Yaakov. There's a number of Pirushim in the Ein Yaakov. One of them is called HaKotev. He's the one who, like, put the Ein Yaakov together, and he brings this beautiful long commentary of the Rashba, who was a Mikubal, and he brings it on this piece of the Talmud that will be the transition into the next level of existence, the 7th millennium, the Great Shabbos. I like to open it up, as I said. I just want to show you one little thing that's helpful for me. I forgot already, it must be a reason. I want to show it. Okay. I used to really be bad at forgetting. But now I'm pretty, Hashem is having Rahmanas on me. I usually am able to remember what I need to say. Okay, I forgot. So, hi. A Nigun. Yeah. On the page, something you all, most of you probably know, page 32.
Do it later. Want to do it now?
This is a lift-off song. It is again, the elevator goes up, comes down. The more we go up, the more we're able to bring down. So really, it's not only this or only that. It's not. There's no way to do this work without connecting to somehow above, to transcending. I always talk about it. I see infinite examples of it, beautiful examples in our prayer system and in the Torah about transcendence. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is transcendence. You're beyond, beyond, beyond. You want us to know your beyondness, to know your infiniteness, and to be awed by your infiniteness. I call it freeing God from any idea that we have of Him. Don't box God. Don't think you know what God is. Free God. Kadosh, you're beyond. Beyond, 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 beyond. And then there's Hashem Sevaot. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Hashem Sevaot. Hashem Sevaot corresponds to Tiferet, Netzach, and Hod. Means I am internalizing in my heart center that your existence is real for me. And then Melo Kol Aretz Kevado is that the fullness of the earth is your glory, or the earth is filled with your glory, is the spreading down from the heart center down into the lower parts of ourselves and the sharing with the world. So we have beautiful, if you just think about it, they have beautiful intentions behind the words. And for the way we say these words, the time that we give them, maybe we have to do separate services besides the synagogue service, which could be slowed down at least in 3 or 4 major places, and given the time to breathe into the words. I'm very chutzpahdik. I tell people, breathe into the words. I didn't see you breathe for the last 17,000 words. Right. You can't do that. That's not what davening is about. It's become so easy for people to have these words come out of their mouth. I cannot believe the speed that they talk. They're great at it. I'm not really interested in going there.